It's just like stuff like this. Welcome back to another video, guys. Today we are reviewing science-based lifting. I know it's been a hot topic, but I felt like it was appropriate coming at the end of the year to review some of the best, funniest, most viral science-based lifting clips of the year and tell you what I think about them, because I know that they just get completely dumped on, and I think there's some good, some bad. I don't think there's any problem with getting more out of an exercise, and maybe it doesn't look as normal. I get made fun of sometimes for my exercise variants, but without further ado, let's get into some clips and see what's good and what's bad.
If you're not doing crucifixion flaps in 2025, you do not care about your lat growth. You are wasting your potential if you're not doing crucifixion flaps. Everybody tap in.
Is this trolling? I can't tell.
Lats doing only crucifixion flaps.
I think this is rage bait, but like this is crazy. The crucifixion flaps is wild. I think it's making fun of Keegan flaps, which essentially you strap something up above your elbow, and we'll find an example of that. Oh, we got Lex Little here trying them out.
I did one rep and I was like, what the Here's how Lex Little converted me to a science-based lifter. Been converting this guy, converting Brandon. If one of the boys goes down, you take the rest with you. I'm trying to spread this information.
Let's see this.
Squeeze that shit. That was like a double.
All right, so Keegan flaps, you strap in here, and essentially your lat is heavily involved in shoulder reduction. So when you pull in that sagittal plane, the idea is you don't have to have any limitation by your grip strength or coordination. But what happens is when you get closer to your joint, that moment arm becomes shorter. So that's why it's so much harder to lift when it's out away from your body. So that's why you're doing a lateral raise. So if you tuck in your elbows and you lift like this, the weight feels lighter. And the reason is because that moment arm is shortened. So if you get farther away and you raise here, it is going to be, from a physics perspective, harder as you get further away from your center mass. So realistically, I think you could do so much better by getting full range of motion using some sort of lifting strap, or my new handle, which is about to come out, which I'm so excited about as part of my new equipment brand. If you guys have not heard about it, go check it out. It's called Torque, and I'll be releasing products in the next 8 weeks here, but I will be doing pre-orders. I have a specific handle that's patent pending that literally has a lifting strap built into it. Phil has used it, and Phil, what's your feedback, bro?
It was pretty good, and it was just like a prototype of a prototype.
Yeah, it was literally homemade. Let's hop into some more science-based highlights from the year. Okay, how do you train optimal but are smaller than most lifters? Genetic potential is the strongest determinant of hypertrophy. So essentially this kid, what he's saying is the reason that he is smaller than most other lifters because we're enhanced or have better genetic potential. I will say that he has a point. Genetics are important. The way you train is important, but you have a ceiling, right? If you are not meant to be very muscular, you don't have the same levels of myostatin as somebody else. All those things do apply. Training is important. But I think that what is going to get you coming back day after day and training harder is that these crazy like nuanced setups that disallow you from really like enjoying the gym, or is it ones that you're going to be going back and doing, like when I see people doing stuff like this with when they're like strapped in to like an incline bench and they have this like they're doing everything unilateral, they're doing like a back extension on a pull down. I just think that we've lost the script a little bit, lost the plot, in the sense of, yes, I always am a proponent of maximizing stimulus with the least amount of fatigue, but it's also predicated on range of motion. Being an athlete, right? That I don't want to ever feel like I'm losing my ability to have coordination, mind muscle connection due to my training style, because I'm so hell-bent on strapping things to benches and putting my arm through a foam roller that's made out of plastic and doing shit like this. I just think that if you go that far in that direction, you're going to lose your coordination. You're going to lose your ability to reach for full range of motion. You have more joint pressure because usually you're going closer to the joint, which I mentioned, you're using more weight. So you're putting more strain on, let's say, your lower back, your shoulder capsule. All of those things are going to be at a greater risk. So let's take a look at, I think I've got a clip here of what I'm talking about. So yeah, like stuff like this, guys. I mean, I don't want to hate on this kid because he's probably like 16 years old, but at the end of the day, when I was 16, I wasn't worried about strapping myself into a tricep push down. And I know the joke is it's always the smallest guys. I don't think I want to get into that type of argument of why this does or doesn't work, because I think that's not necessarily a productive argument. What I will say though is, if you are looking at a large number of lifters and the ones that go in and maybe slang and clang and bang a little bit, maybe have less proficient form, but they show up consistently and they train hard, and that's the type of community that's making a little bit more progress, I think that's where we have to find that in between. That's why I always call my training style is refined intensity, right? It's not trying to train until the wheels fall off, but it's trying to train as hard as we possibly can within the confines of good form so we can drive as much stimulus as possible. But I hate that train smarter, not harder. I think that's absolutely false. Train harder and smarter, which will allow you to stay in the gym longer without injury. You will recover better because you're not just like destroying your CNS, but you're still training really hard within those bounds. So when I see something like this is actually not a bad one, right? I understand this. What he's trying to set up here is essentially, instead of having like a push down where that vector of force is coming from in front of you, now it's torquing from behind us, and he's actually going closer to the wrist than up here. If he was here, obviously I think it's worthless, but he's up here. We're pretty close to where a handle or a bar would be. So I think there's good and bad, right? I think there's nuance to this argument. I don't think this is a terrible exercise. Would I probably spend the time setting this up? Probably not. I think that my incline bench setup, which is as simple as rolling a bench over to a cable and doing a push down where that vector of force is coming from behind us, two hands at once. So now we split the time in half that it takes us to get the same amount of stimulus. We still solve the problem of that vector of force coming from in front of us. We disable the need to use as much core or stability. I understand it. So I think that it's not a bad thing to try to figure out setups that are more advantageous to getting more stimulus. But at the end of the day, it's like, when have we gone too far to the point where now the gym's not fun? You're clogging up equipment. And I think this might be on the verge of that. And then you see clips like this where, you know, people are using like the hamstring curl to do a pullover. Like, I get it. It's not a bad idea inherently, but now you got somebody trying to do legs and you're on the hamstring curl doing pullovers. And I'm not saying that your back workout's not as valuable as their like hamstring workout, but at the end of the day, there's fewer hamstring exercises and machines than there are back machines. So now you're clogging up a leg exercise doing a pullover, right? You could easily set this up on a cable to doing on an incline bench. This guy's doing lateral raises on the hip adduction. I think, I'm not saying these are bad ideas. What I'm saying is, it's at what cost are you taking up your mental headspace or thinking through these things that it's almost at the behest of just training hard and making progress and having fun and going to the gym and actually having some athleticism. All these movements that are so predicated on like lying down or having like extra bracing or doing things in a way that you're not gonna like necessarily have to use any stability whatsoever. I think like this is not a terrible movement, but at the end of the day, you see how like little athleticism or coordination something like this takes because you're just so locked in and you're like, you know, tying yourself in. I think I found another one here that's pretty hilarious. Here it is. This it's just like stuff like this. I mean, I see it. I get it. You're getting your elbow pinned back. You have full stability. It's just like when you have to do this much to do so little, like a tricep extension, I think it's just, that's when you've gone too far. And I just don't think training is going to be fun anymore. It's just all about like these optimal setups, which just make you look absolutely ridiculous. And hats off to this kid for like having ingenuity and trying to think through how to make an exercise better. I love that. So not trying to like shit on this kid by any means, but it's just, what are we even doing here? It's just, if you ever have to say, what are we even doing here? I think that's where you kind of lost the plot. But yeah, keep training hard. That's the moral of the story. If you can train hard, keep yourself safe and healthy and not injure yourself, not destroy your CNS, that's where you're going to make the most progress. So make sure you keep an eye out for my upcoming app, my equipment that's coming out. Also try out my Janicki juice. I have a Seco bar right now, the best bars in the game. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And I'll see you on the next video.